Hello, good morning. I think it's still morning to everyone. Thank you guys for taking the opportunity to join and just find out a little bit more about our agency, Family Preservation Services, and some of the wonderful services that we provide. We are a community-based agency based in Washington, D.C., and we provide therapeutic support and just mental health support to adults and children with severe and chronic mental illness. We do this through a teaming approach. We have what is called an ACT team, and that is composed of multidisciplinary positions. And so we have a therapist, a psychiatrist, substance abuse people, nurses, and recovery specialists who are just skilled in providing support services, peer specialists who are part of the team to help us bring some sort of resolution to the cases, treatment wise, that are needed. So it's a teaming approach, and it generally is an approach that works well with folks who have been identified as having some sort of dual diagnosis or just issues sustaining in the community. So we're right now currently hiring for a few positions for our teams as we've continued to grow. So our community-based services program is for our children, and it's a similar approach. It's just with children and their families. It's a smaller caseload of youth that we have a specialist assigned to who goes and provides support services and interventions to the youth and the family who may be experiencing crisis. And the goal is to just really help stabilize the family so that they can thrive in the community and they can continue to strengthen the family unit. So that's just a little bit about our program. And again, we're very small. We're located in the northeast corridor of the district. And we have a combination of right now telehealth services and community-based services. And that's all I have right now, Jamie. So these are some of our perks and some of the reasons why our staff have stayed and enjoy working with us. These are some of the things we offer, which is free supervision towards licensure as you come on board. And if you're on that path, we are happy to mentor you, to provide that support, that guidance. We have trainings. We are very, very firm believers in continuing education and make sure that you feel equipped and the skills needed to provide services. So, we utilize the model of CBT often, and also motivational interviewing for our consumers. We also believe in rewarding staff with incentives. So we offer all types of incentives to staff. Some of those are monetary based upon like your productivity and even just some of your clinical performance, and gift cards. We do gift baskets. We do a lot of different things just to encourage and recognize our staff. Oftentimes, this is a thankless job. Sometimes working with folks, it can get challenging. So we want to make sure that we are supporting each other, and that is just the culture of our team. We like to incorporate our staff passions and are very, very supportive of just being innovative in how we provide treatment, how we provide services, how we continue to grow. So all interests and passions are welcomed. And we take those things on to see where we can make improvements as a team and as an agency. A variety of our staff are experienced, they're knowledgeable, they're supportive. And again, it is, like I said, we consider ourselves a family. And we pride ourselves on providing quality service. We like to call ourselves the Navy SEALs of the mental health world because, sometimes we get down and dirty that way, as we're working with consumers, but we feel so rewarded when we see people shift and change and grow. So I'm thankful to have, team members who are like-minded in that way. We enforce COVID-19 protocols and safety matters. We actually have systems etched out for that. We have proper PPE. And again, we follow the rules and regulations of the CDC and make sure that we adjust our protocols accordingly if they should ever need to change. So we are good there. And then one of the things that our staff love is that, this provides flexible schedules here because you really work on your own time. All you're responsible for is just getting a certain amount of hours, with your consumers, providing your services. And that can be done and carved out in any manner you see fit. So the flexibility is really helpful as you're doing other things. So those are just some of the perks and reasons as to why people do stay with us or come on board with us.
Great. Thank you so much, Alexis. Do
Sure.
you want to talk a little bit more about your guys' open positions and what you're looking for?
Sure. So right now, currently, we're hiring for a substance abuse specialist to join one of our teams, just to again help facilitate some of that support for our consumers who do have the dual diagnosis and maybe struggling and need support and guidance with their treatment planning as it relates to substance abuse. Our substance abuse specialists in the past too have had like little small sometimes groups and stuff that they do. And brought in again innovative ideas, and we've been willing to incorporate those into the overall service package for our consumers. So we're looking for that. We're also looking to hire recovery specialists who just really come in and help support the consumers, and again provide that rehabilitation skill build in accordance to what's on their treatment plan. We're looking for a nurse who will provide a lot of medical education and sometimes assist with some of our consumers who have chronic health issues, and really educating them, making sure that they are linked to the proper PCP, making sure that we're being cognizant of a team as to how their medication is affecting them in their overall wellness. And then last, we're looking for a licensed therapist to provide some therapeutic support to our consumers, and make sure that they have what they need as far as addressing those mental health barriers and things that are mapped out into their treatment plan regarding having therapeutic support or being addressed. So that is where we are with our current openings and positions.
Sorry about that. I was muted.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Alexis. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or just unmute yourself and you can ask Alexis your question. Alexis, we do have one that just came in. As a fresh graduate with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, do I need any prior experience if applying as a recovery specialist?
So ideally we like to have folks who do have experience, but we are welcome. We've taken on and had people come on board that didn't have the experience, and we were happy to support them and make sure they have what they needed resource wise. We do a really good job of when folks come on board. There's a whole onboarding process for 30 days where you're not just thrown into the mix. We mentor you, you have training, you shadow, so that you kind of understand more of the role and what it is we need you to do. So by the time we let you become more bonded with the team, you're already familiar with the consumers, they're familiar with you. So the answer there is that we are willing, yes, to mentor you, to support you if you do not have that experience.
Thank you so much for that answer. And thank you for asking a question, Sama.
Yes, good question.
Yes.
Very good.
Can you, since we have some extra time, Alexis, can you talk a little bit about the culture in DC?
Sure. So again, we're very, like I said, small. I like to call us a hidden gem in the city, just because we're smaller, and that works to our benefit a lot because we get to team more and we provide a lot of support to each other and to our consumers. So we're all aware of what's going on. And since these different models, like I said, are teaming models, everyone is aware of what's going on with the case. And so that way you don't feel alone. You feel like you're able to work with colleagues who understand exactly, what a barrier may be with a client, and we can work together as a team to really figure out a way to move the client forward. So that's the culture we have, where we really want to work together to figure out a way to move a client forward. And no one is really an island, so to speak. We don't say, here's the caseload, work it out to the best of your ability. No, we definitely are all hands on deck. And so everyone plays a role with this case, right? From the substance abuse specialist to the recovery specialist, to the nurse, to the therapist, to psychiatrists. We all have our roles to play. And we're making sure that we are supporting the consumers in accordance to what it is that we've been brought on to do, but in conjunction with this team. So there's never a lack of support. You can always come to any leader, your supervisor. We have like open door policies around things. So that's our culture. We definitely believe in teaming, and we definitely believe in support. We definitely believe in being clinically sound, and we want to make sure that everyone has the training they need and the resources they need to do so.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Alexis, is the main clientele in DC, is that adults or young adults, children?
So yeah, so there's a combination. So as I mentioned like earlier, there are adults. There's an adult portion of our team, and then there's a child side of our team. All these positions that we are hiring for right now are on the young adult to older adult side of our teams. So and when I say younger adults, older adults, so we're looking at age between 18 through maybe 50, who may need support in these things. So that's where these positions range in age as far as the support that the person will be providing. Yes.
Great, thank you so much. Are there any additional questions? I don't see any in the chat. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or just unmute your line and ask Alexa your question. We'll pause now for about a minute.
So I'll also share that one thing too about us or our program is, a lot of our consumers sometimes don't recognize the fact that they need support, as much support as they do. And so a lot of our folks have become super skilled, in really helping the consumer understand where they are and move toward a place where they're accepting of the type of supports they may need while in the community. So if someone has a passion for that type of population, it's even better. And they tend to gel well with our team. And then as you move on to like in your different career, it's great because you've always been challenged in that way where, you have maybe worked with some folks who are really, stubborn, for lack of a better word, and really trying to understand, where they are and what supports they need. So you're sort of ready for anything.
Thank you, Alexis. We did have a couple of questions come in through the chat.
Great.
Dennis is wondering, what if you don't have a master's degree but are interested in the substance abuse specialist? Should he still apply? Is there something that he can do to work towards that?
If you don't have a master's degree and you're still interested in the substance abuse, yes, you can become a certified CAC, right, which is needed, a certification in order to really be the substance abuse person. There's some other courses you can take. So you would have to look a little bit more into some of the certification requirements, but I believe that you don't necessarily have to have the master's in order to have the CAC. There's just a few other courses you would need to take.
Great, thank you. Another question from Elise is, at the moment, what percentage of your work is virtual and what percentage is in person? And would that be dependent upon the position?
That's a good question. And so I would say right now it's about 50-50 because like restrictions have been, loosened up, right, in the different areas. And again, people, I don't know if it's because everyone's just tired of being cooped up, right, for a year, are willing to get out and wanting to meet in a very safe, way, and be that at the park, be wherever it may be. So both parties, like the consumers and the staff, have been wanting to, make sure they're out and able to meet. And then also, the telehealth, a lot of our consumers have grown used to. And so, it's also been precautionary method for our staff. So there are times throughout the week that we do telehealth services, like our physical office right now is only open 3 days a week. which is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And some staff meet with consumers there. Some staff meet with them in the community. It is a community-based job, so I want to be transparent about that. And they like to get out and do those things. So right now it's been a 50-50. Our staff is out there and also telehealthing.
And Alexis, I'm sorry, I'll also add that is because we're person-centered, it's 100% based on the preference of the consumer also. So we do take that into consideration, whether the consumer feels comfortable with telehealth or community, that's also considered as well.
Thanks, Blessing. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Blessing, would you like to take a moment and introduce yourself to the team?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry I joined a little late. But yes, I am the Assistant Clinical Director here at Family Preservation Services. We are a great team. I've been happy to be brought on board working with Alexis Harris. We provide ACT services to our consumers. We're community-based, however, we do serve them in an array of different areas because we work on an interdisciplinary team. So I'm excited to be here with you all. I'm excited to hear from you guys. I'm glad that we're doing a good question and answering right now because we're open and we're interested in seeing what you guys have to offer us. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
Thank you so much, Blessing. There was another question that came in from Jenny. As someone who has a bachelor's of social work and have yet to get my licensure, can I still apply and possibly works towards my license while working for substance abuse specialist?
So I can answer that one. So this will be similar to a previous question regarding substance abuse specialists. We do require at least a CAC, which is that certified abuse certification. However, we do have other positions where you can work as whether a recovery specialist while you're in the process of working towards that licensure. And the way our team works, there is a good amount of overlap. So you can always, join our team as a recovery specialist and still work towards becoming a substance abuse specialist. So that's something to consider. I do think your master's degree in social work would still be very valuable.
Great, thank you so much. Are there any additional questions? Okay, so we really do appreciate you guys joining the session. For those of you who are interested in a position or learning more about family preservation services in DC, here is the contact information for both Alexis and Blessing. And again, you can take a picture of the QR code or scan a QR code to view our positions. I've also put the full link in the chat, which I will do again here shortly. And if you have any questions or would like a resume review, you can send me your resume and I'll put my email in the chat as well. So you can send it directly to me. If there's any additional questions, please either put them in the chat or unmute your line and ask. We'll hang out here for a few minutes, but that does conclude our presentation for today.
I was muted. Did you guys hear me? I'm so sorry.
No.
Okay, thank you, Blessing. I was saying, I saw someone put in the chat that about, they were requesting about the salary. That is usually discussed when we have our individual breakout interviews, only because they are computed on a number of factors, which is your education, your experience, and also your path to licensure or certification. So we're more than happy to have that type of discussion with, you know, whoever may be interested and would like to break out for a personal interview to discuss those further. But please feel free to reach out to us. You know, as Jamie mentioned, our contact information is there, and you know, we definitely would be happy to discuss those things with you and to see if it's a good fit. Sure. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Hello. I had a question. What is your kind of timeline for hiring? Is there an expected date you want to onboard people?
So generally, you know, depending on, we're very flexible. Let me start there with folks that we interview, because you know, folks may be transitioning, folks may be willing to start right away. So we just take all those things into consideration. We don't have like a hard you know, time. Obviously, we want to bring you on as soon as possible, you know, to make sure you get acclimated. But we're also flexible. So it just really depends on where the candidate is.
Oh, okay. And I'm interested in the recovery specialist. So can you give me maybe a little bit more details about the position?
Sure. You want to talk about it, Blessing?
Sure. And to double back to your previous question, we do have some immediate availability, but we are typically hiring on an ongoing basis. So there is room there for your timeline to change. Regarding the recovery specialist, these are a very important role on our team. And what your main responsibilities would be to support the consumer with recovering into the community. So we're working with consumers who are managing severe mental illnesses, and our goal is to get them to adapt to live in the community, right? We're trying to be almost like a hospital without walls, right? So that's why we have a team of nurses, I have a team of a psychiatrist, a substance abuse specialist. So as our recovery specialist, you're helping to coach them and guide them to make sure that they are, you know, in compliance with all these different parts, and helping them understand that this is important for them to live in the community. So you're almost like their coach, right? To get them to be in the community, and you're coaching them towards recovery and being able to stay out of the hospital, stay out of jail. So your responsibilities could range, right? With these consumers, it requires different things, but your main goal is to coach them to be successful in the community and help them to stay in compliance with their outpatient mental health team. Does that
Okay,
answer your
great.
question?
Thank you.
Great.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, we look forward to seeing your application and your resume. So don't forget to save that link or the QR code so you can apply. Also, our emails are either on the screen or in the chat. And feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. I hope everyone has a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah.